We're here this afternoon at a lovely lunch hour and a very successful day of fishing, and I'm pleased to have Howard Getson here, who has been sort of on the forefront at his company in investing using artificial intelligence. What exactly is going on here?
Boy, this is the golden age of AI and machine learning.
Okay.
And I actually think AI and machine learning is going to be as big a change for the world as electricity was.
As far as investment is concerned, I mean,
Well, as far
a wide
as everything,
range.
but,
Okay.
no, it's we've been doing AI since 1991, and really, like in the beginning, there was an algorithm, and it was good.
Right.
And the fact that you had a repeatable, reliable process, it helped eliminate fear and greed.
But
that
you're
was
using
terrific.
it, but you're using it for investment and decisions, right? I mean,
It's 100% autonomous AI. All the trading is done automatically.
okay.
And so the point was, in the beginning, there's an algorithm. Then you got to the point where you could have multi-algorithms that sense the environment and say, if this is going to happen, I'm going to do that. But now, the algorithms can learn. They start to evolve and change. And more importantly, they now have language where they can communicate. So you can have a sensor network of millions of algorithms that are figuring out which techniques are in phase and making money and which ones aren't. And you dynamically allocate asset into what's working.
If you're running that kind of a system, how do you sort of get your arms around what it's actually doing at that particular period of time? Criteria for decisions and so on.
so-
How do you monitor that?
So it's AI, machine learning, and supercomputers. It's literally billions and billions and billions of calculations, and it's not something that a human can get their arms around in a moment's time. You can get your arms around the process, you can get your arms around the testing or the validation process, but we're at a point where our trading systems aren't built by people. AI is now writing the AI. AI is testing the AI, and AI is constructing the portfolios.
Hopefully you know where they are.
Yeah, well, what we do is we can track how much each component is making at every moment in time, and we can look at a value chain, in a sense an alpha chain, to say the asset selection is adding or leaking alpha, the technique selection is adding or leaking alpha, the alpha is decaying this fast here or there. It's all about real-time expectancy scores.
So as you monitor this, can you go in and force changes when you identify these problems? Or is that in and of itself built into the algorithm,
So,
self-correcting?
It's self-correcting, but AI is supposed to eliminate the fear, the greed, the discretionary mistakes.
Okay.
And having people go in and do something like that, AI is cool, but artificial stupidity is scary. And
So you have to trust the process is essentially what you're saying.
yeah,
Ultimately.
yeah. But to me, it's like an airplane. If I told you that an airplane worked 80% of the time, you'd never fly. But if you're going to have an airplane fly, you have to get it to a certain point. So if you know that you're going to trade 100% autonomously, that's how come we've spent 20 some years building a process to make sure it's right, because it's trading so much so quickly that it has to be.
Does this leave any room for the individual investor in the longer run at all?
I think investing is still a human game. I think trading is becoming more and more automated.
Okay.
So to me, there's a big difference between what somebody like you guys do and what we do, and I think there's some great synergies. But I think, I'm not sure most people realize what's happening underneath the surface of the market. A high frequency trader can make 42 buys and sells within 1 second.
Wow.
In a normal option trade, there are 14,000 interactions between somebody saying, here's my bid, here's my offer, and they say, I'm going to display this for 2/100ths of a second, and then if there's this volume, I'll do that. And it's like the mating dance of algo-bots. The market parasites. And so we're not a high frequency trading firm, but we use all this data that's happening. When you first started trading, if you could look at weekly data and then get to daily data, you thought you had a huge edge.
Yeah.
now things are being done in microseconds, but it means there's so much more market history for the AI to work on because there's so much
microsecond history.
I actually believe that data is the new currency, and firms like ours have a printing press. Data is certainly a new precious commodity. And on the other hand, just because you have it, if you don't use it, you're not wealthy. You have to figure out what to do with it.
Well, you've given us a lot to think about, I'll tell you, and it's right on the cusp of what's happening. Thank you very much. It's very enlightening.
By the way, this is a great conference, amazing people, and a ton of fun.
Great. Glad
Thanks.
to have you here.